is when you're sitting on the chairs, if you can occupy the centermost ones first, even in the back, and fill it in. Sometimes there are adults, parents, and elderly people who come. Though there is space, at that time to reach there becomes difficult. If you could sit in, that would be a great.
Hariom, there is one change in the announcement. For the Diwali Seva projects, even the adults are welcome to do that. Entire family actually prefer entire family participating in the Diwali Seva project. So please note that. Thank you.
We are in the pledge, page number 21. Not in Bhagavad Gita, in the folder. We are in the third paragraph. You have to walk all the way inside if you don't find space. Good. So the third paragraph says, we seek the Lord's grace to keep us on the path of virtue, courage, and wisdom. May thy grace and blessings flow through us to the world around us. When do we go in front of an altar? When do we pray? Why do we pray? When or why? Okay, let me ask the first question. Do we pray? Okay, good. Because there was a stoic silence. I said, okay, maybe I missed one step. Okay, we do pray. So when is it that we are most probably praying? Or why is it that we most probably pray? Once. When you are asking for something. Whenever we are in a difficult situation, we pray. Expressing our gratitude. Expressing our gratitude. What else? Celebrating festivals. Areva. No, this is not Areva in a bad way. It is like, I am really pleased to have a conversation. Chal yaar बैठते हैं. हाँ. Oh Lord, I always come and ask, demand, and look up to you. तुम कैसे हो? कैसे हो यार? खड़े रहते हो दिन भर. You are always standing there. How was your day? Having a conversation. In fact, upasana means having a conversation with the Lord, which means you have connected and now there is a conversation. I was pleased to listen to that. Very rarely I get to hear that. To have a conversation with the Lord. दिल कहता क्या कि आज दिल खुश हो गया. वो खुश हो गया. Usually, whenever we go to an altar, to a temple, to in front of the Lord, most of the time, our prayers are demands. And the demands are very peculiar, very demanding. And for such one, there is a special stotra I'm planning to write that stotra. And I call it as Demand Ashtakam. Oh Lord, give me this, give me that. Within those demands, I can qualify them into two categories. Can you tell me what those two categories are? Two categories of demands. Health, job, relation. It's a तीन हो गए. There are three now. Nah.
Just asking any other things I give you this, you give me that.
That is barter. That is a barter system. We'll come to that later. We are presently in the demand system. In the demand system, there are two categories wherein you can put all this health, wealth for myself, for others, all these into two categories. One, that which I don't have, give me that. That which I have, try to take away that. Health, wealth, relationships, everything. See, even in that shadi, even in that wedding, it is like, I've been in this for 25 years. How long more? And then to humor them, they say that shadi 7 janmon ka rishta hai. Shadi is a relationship for 7 lives. Then I have yet to find somebody who would say other than what I'm saying, contrary to what I'm saying. Then we pray that this be our last one. Health, wealth, opportunity, and relationships, that which I have, and I'm not happy with it, take away. That which I don't have, give me more of it. This is a constant demand, two kinds. And the irony of life is that all that which I like seem to be far away from me. All that which I don't like is all around me. So constantly there is this prayer. Oh Lord, I have been praying for so long. When will you answer my prayers? When will I get what I want? When will I get what I don't want? When will you remove those obstacles, pain, or restlessness? That is one system. The second system of prayer is barter system, which you are mentioning. Oh Lord, give me this, I'll give you this. Let my accomplishments be fulfilled. I'll give you $11.25. What is that? Both. Barter tending towards bribing. If you do for this for me, I'll give you 116 or 101. Depending on who writes the check, we can tell which part of India you are from. If it is $11.25, they are from Maharashtra. If it is 101, Tamil Nadu. I can be specific. With your check, I can tell you which part of India you are from. Andhra, 116. I don't know why, but they have this deep affinity to 116. It is 116. Hundreds of times sweet 16. Even if they give 1000, it is like 1116. Some affinity to that. And sometimes I'll do this for you, oh Lord. If you fulfill mine, then I'll break 3 coconuts. If you do this for me, Lord, I will do pradakshina every Monday around your temple. If you do this for me, O Lord, then I will do fasting on Thursdays or Mondays. And I know of people who do every day something or the other fasting. Me and my mother had a big fight, and it continued for about 3-4 years. Because in India, when we were growing up there, 10th grade was the board exams. So my mom invoked Tirupati Balaji, and she said that if he gets flying colors in this grade, Lord, I'll send him to shave his head. My argument was your prayer, your demand. How can you pledge my head? Go pledge your head. It's unfair. Your prayer, it's like, oh God, I am ready to sacrifice for getting this blessings. Okay, I'll take this 10 people and sacrifice them for you. You can't do that. And I somehow always felt the book fell asleep. Somehow I always felt that giving your hair, do you think God is waiting that baal de de? Like in Sholay, Gabbar Singh says, Thakur, mujhe ye haath de de. Bhagwan is also waiting there. Bande, ye baal de de. It seems ridiculous. Baal. I know what it is for. Agandi. The attitude. And on the top of it, we have these vrata. The Santoshima vrata or the Satyanarayan vrata. And the katha, have you heard of it? One katha terribler than the other one. The puja was happening, you did not attend the puja, therefore God was not pleased and he punished. You attended the puja but did not take part of the prasad, therefore God punished. You attended the puja, took part of the prasad, and you vowed that you will do it at your home and you did not do it, so you are punished. So the idea that comes up in mind is God must be working in Chuck E. Cheese at the Whack-A-Mole arcade. Have you been to Chuck E. Cheese? Have you seen that which I'm talking about? Whack-A-Mole? You have seen it. I'll explain it. There is a rubber hammer and there is sharks popping up. And there's a time limit. How many can you snap in that given time? So Bhagwan also wakes up in the morning and he takes up his hammer. Ab kisko maru main? Who do I beat up today? If God defined as a vengeful God, I would be the first atheist. That who is vengeful cannot be impartial and cannot be in an elevated position to call himself as God. Even a human being who is vengeful, we don't consider them as nice people. How can I approve of God who is, not that he cares for my approval, that's a different story. How can I even bring to that I can surrender to that kind of God who is vengeful? In our scriptures, it is said that a prayer should be so broadly classified that everyone from any kind of mindset finds a possibility to relate to that God. Not everybody is with that open-minded possible to connect, some are shallow, some are immature. Like while growing up, there is a certain age wherein whatever you reason you give to that child, the child is in no position to understand the reason. So what do? You have to bring that discipline, you have to bring that focus in them. So you invent new techniques, right? If you do this, I'll give you this. Or if you don't do this, this will be taken away from you. Complete your homework by this time and you get your TV time. Otherwise, the TV time is taken away. Gadget time is taken away. What else can be taken away? There is something in this country, I don't see as to how that seems to be that effective, but it seems to work. They send them into a corner, and you will not move from this corner. What do you call it? Time out. हाँ, time out. अब मुझे मिला होता इंडिया में, I would have been waiting for it, so that I get enough time to scheme for my next Shaitani. And it seems to work here. So much so that it's a 15 minutes sit in that corner. 5 minutes. Mommy, I'm sorry, I will not do it again. Please. I said 15 minutes. Another 1 minute. Mommy, please. It seems to work to bring that discipline. There is a certain mindset, there is a certain maturity required to understand logic and reason. When that logic and reason doesn't reach, what do? You invent method, you invent a technique so that the ultimate purpose is served, though the process may not be a very sound one, based on reason. Now, when growing up, coming back from school, the shoes were like, and then run in. And so my grandmother used to always say, hey, if your shoes are not kept properly, if it is upside down, you will get stomachache. And we were kids, like, who wants a stomachache? Okay, put the shoe properly and leave. I must have been 5.5, 6 years old in my second grade. And my parents had organized this Satyanarayan Vrata. There were about 70, 80 people. Everybody was busy inside doing puja. And I was busy doing something else. Because my grandmother had just told me that stomachache thing with the shoes. So I was outside turning every set of shoes there upside down and come inside and wait. How many people will get stomachache? I don't know if they got stomachache or not, but I got nice tight wrapped top spins. From everybody who thought he was an adult, I got a top spin that day. That is when they realized that this fellow, these techniques will not work. Give him a good reason and he'll be fine. Bhayatva bhaktimva. That connection can be either created by bhaya, fear, or through bhakti. For connecting through bhakti, you need a little bit maturity. Until then, there can be a little fear infused. And don't jump immediately saying, how can that connection based on fear be really valid? Hold on. Not all fears are bad fears. Some fears are good. डर कभी कभी अच्छा होता है. For somebody who is representing a country, representing at a very high position, and what is the constant fear that they have? That they have to represent what they are representing in a impeccable character. There cannot be a sloppy job. That fear keeps them on track. That fear is good. Whenever I am in a situation wherein I have too many choices or not all choices are clear, then what is my most probable choice that I end up choosing? What would Guruji or Gurudev pick in this condition? Why? Because I have to live up to their standard, and that fear keeps me in line. So we cannot just say that, fear galat hai. Sometimes fear is also good. Whether it is immaturity and fear or maturity and bhakti, when we come in front of God, what should be our prayer? How should our prayer be? Why should we pray? Low battery. No. Whenever we feel low battery, that is when we need to go pray to get charged up. What should we pray unto that Lord? Do I really need to ask him what he has to do for me? Now let me take this situation. Morning, afternoon, evening, your child comes to you and says, Mom, Dad, this is how you have to take care of me. This is how you have to provide for me. This is how you have to protect me. This is how you have to fulfill my needs. Understood? One day they say it looks cute. Oh, so cute. Every single day that they see, they keep saying this. What will you say after the third time? ओए बस कर, तेरा बाप हूं मैं. Enough. I am your dad, for God's sake. I know how to take care of you. Shut up. Don't you get irritated? I have not raised children, so I'm asking you. When they come constantly saying how you have to take care of them, how you have to fulfill their needs, how you have to protect them, how you have to take care, it gets irritating, doesn't it? And you go to that Lord, and every single day, God, again I'm coming in front of you. Why? When are you going to? That is why our gods are like this. Or bas bikar. Chup. Stop, enough now. And how is the other hand positioned? बस नहीं करेगा तो लगाऊंगा नीचे से दो, कान के नीचे बजाऊंगा दो. When you send your children to a event, to a field trip or somewhere, don't you make sure that when you pack enough, more than enough, so that all their needs and much more is taken care of? Yes, no. When as parents, as mortals, we tend to take this kind of special care, that to whom we pray as Tvameva Mata, Tvameva Pita, Tvameva Sakha, wouldn't it be insulting, like, God, you're not good at your job, take care of me? Constantly going there, and would that be a viable prayer? We say we trust in God, then shut up. Maybe when we say we trust in God, it is only on that dollar bill. In God we trust. If we truly trust, that, oh God, you will take care of me. Rather, in my head, my prayer will be, you have created me, you better take care of me. And do you see the confidence there? You have created me, you have put me in this situation, give me the solution, give me the right buddhi, take care of me. I am ready to put whatever effort I have to put. I don't need to go there, keep reminding him, God, do this for me, do that for me. Wouldn't that be belittling his presence in our life? Think. Then what should be our prayer filled with? If at all we should ask from that God, if at all there is something that we should seek from him, what is it that we should seek from him? Wisdom, viveka, buddhi, sadbuddhi. तो पढ़ लो यार वहीं से. Courage, wisdom, virtue. The next sentence says it. See, the best prayer, the attitude for a prayer is called serenity prayer. Have you heard it? Oh God, give me serenity to accept that which I cannot change. Give me the strength to change that which I must. And the last part is, give me the wisdom to know that difference. Amazing and most powerful prayer. Attitude for prayer. In my interaction with the world, there are three components. Me, the world I'm interacting, and the interaction. What am I aiming through that interaction? Some amount of peace, fulfillment, joy, tripti. Isn't it? If that is what I am aiming for, and in these three components, what is it that I have enough freedom to change, to bring that as a result? What are the three components? Me, world, and the interaction between me and the world. What is the end result that I am seeking? Peace, joy, fulfillment, contentment. So in these three components, what is it that I have that I can change? Me and my interaction. Can I change the world? Think. 99% of our frustration, if we write it down and categorize it, is purely born out of my anticipation from the world that it has to change to accommodate my needs, my demands. Isn't it? Am I exaggerating? Now such individual goes to God and say, God, you're not doing anything. He says, Beukuf hai kya? I have given you buddhi, I have given you your intelligence, use it. Right? That's why the saying is, those who cannot help themselves, even God cannot help. So before we can demand any help from God, have you helped yourself? What is the kind of help that we are talking here? The unimaginable demand of trying to find people around us, situations around us that should accommodate my needs. You may accommodate once. You may accommodate twice. After that, it builds pressure To go to your office or wherever you have to regularly go in your car, if the route has these huge, in this country we move houses also. Not moving a house, move houses on those big 18-wheelers, you move the entire house. So when that house is picked, so there is a vehicle pickup in the front, there is a vehicle in the back. And when you see that vehicle coming, legally you have every right to be on your lane. But when you see such overload, what do? You pull over, allow that vehicle to go and get back on track. If that route has constantly such traffic, what would you do? You start trying to find a different route. That too, if there is an option. If there is no such option, then what do? Change the time. If that also is not an option, then what do? Suck it up, give way. Right? It is frustrating. Now, how do we behave in the traffic of life? Not as the one who is taking to the curb to accommodate. Coming with this excess of luggage, excess of burden, expecting everybody around us to accommodate me and my needs. And then feel frustrated that nobody listens to me, nobody cares for me, nobody loves me no more. When a little kid says that, it looks cute. When the rest of us in this room try to say it, it looks ugly. Ugly. It's only in Hindi movies they say, गुस्से में भी खूबसूरत दिखती हो. In your anger, you look beautiful. Really? Have you seen your face when you get angry, frustrated, irritated? It ain't looking that pleasant. So what is the first part of prayer? Oh God, give me the serenity to accept that which I should not change. Not I cannot, I should not change. Why? Why should I change? The psychology of a human being is everything around him or her should be according to their taste tailored, except himself or herself. Including the evergreens, they have to be boxed. You know the evergreens outside? They have to be in a certain shape, boxed, spiraled. Every time I see, I have only one prayer. Thank goodness, there is nobody more superior than a human being. Otherwise, you come home one day and you are in a spiraled. What happened? Kar diya usne aise. Why did he do that? I don't know. Can you imagine? Suddenly one day, the joy is here. Why? What happened? Why? They thought it was more beautiful. Let them be. Oh God, give me serenity to accept that which I should not change. Give me the strength to change that which I must. What is it that I should change? Myself. And that self-exploration, self-perfection, the road to self-perfection is always under construction. Isn't it? And what is the best way to improve? There are two methods. One, beat your earlier best. If every weekend I wake up early in the morning at 10:30, I'll wake up at 10:25, beating my earlier best. My own standard, my own pace, my own effort, I'll grow constantly. One method. Second method is where we have to be extremely careful. Compare to someone that is so high as an ideal, as a role model, that looking at them, comparing with them, it is not jealousy that is born, but it is inspiration that is born. And we do that mistake with ourselves and with our surroundings, with our children. We compare between them. Look at your brother, younger than you, better than you, going to the same school. And this fellow looks at his brother and says, "Bhai, chal bahar. Get out. I'll. Sibling rivalry is created. Look at your sister, look at your brother, look at your friend, look at your cousin. So this father was telling the son, Abraham Lincoln at your age, son, did not have these kinds of luxury. He used to sit in the street lights and study. And look how great he became. And this kid must have been pushed really hard by that parent. That day it broke his patience. And he said, "Dad, by your age, he was already a president. Back off." Sometimes we compare with the comparisons is not necessary. When I came into Dallas and looking at the infrastructure and looking at the need, I told the board then, that board which was there, look, I need 5 things. And we will get an amazing impact. I call them my 5C formula. Give me a cell phone. Give me a computer. Give me a cable connection. In those days, there was that cable which gave both TV as well as internet. So cable connection. Give me a car. And give me a credit card to pay for the earlier 4. Cell phone, computer, cable, car, credit card. 5C formula. And they're like, no other Swami ever asked like this. Look at that Swami. I said, go get them. Mujhe India bhej do. We constantly compare. And sometimes it is so self-inflicting. We compare with someone, instead of creating inspiration to do better, we only do a self-cancelling system. They are doing better, they are getting better, they are being recognized, they are getting this. I am not getting any of this. If at all you have to compare with somebody of that high standard. If you want to do well, excel in cricket, who do you have to compare with? Achha, Sachin still, okay. Sachin Tendulkar. If you have to do well, say in fielding, that's a cricket batsman. In fielding, you have to excel. Who do you have to look up to? Jaunty Rhodes. Man, that fellow was like a rubber on springs. Anywhere 10, 15 feet in any direction, a ball going past him would never go past him. You like, you can jump. He must have been a frog in his earlier life. Lachak tapak. Nothing would go past him. If somebody has to excel in basketball, Michael Jordan, what has been a generation after him, and still he stands as the ideal. Because the moves that he invented on that field, even today they practice it to get to that perfection. That should be the way we compare. But never give up on the effort to change oneself to become better. Give me the strength to change. And the only thing that I can change is myself. What is the third one? Oh God, give me that wisdom to constantly have that clarity that at every single situation, it is how I modulate myself, how I adjust myself, that my growth depends upon, and not because of the conducive nature of the environment around. So if you have lemon, what do? If you are bored with lemonade, achar bana lo. Make a pickle out of it. But make the best use of what you have to move forward. If you categorize again your timing and your thought on various things, we spend so much time thinking about that which is not there, that which is not available, that which is not possible, constantly focusing on those impossibilities. They're not even vision, they're not even goal. Just a brooding that I do not have this, how unlucky I am. That which you already have, what are you doing with it? क्या उखाड़ा क्या तुमने? What exactly have you accomplished with what you already have? We complain that I wish I had that also, then I would have done better. If at all we have to pray unto that Lord, it is not that He has not given us enough. It is just that we are not focusing on that which is essential. And once we have gathered ourselves up, then what we bring should be a blessings flowing through us to the world around us. Nothing less than a blessing. Even before we can become a positive contributor to the society, to the environment that we are in, the first thing that we need to do, stop being a negative contribution to the society. Otherwise, it is self-cancelling. We had this physics book. It was called Rusnick and Halliday, the orange-red color book. There was this problem wherein the frog is in the well and is trying to climb out. So the rod is this length and it jumps 2 meters, falls half a meter. And how they question it, the answers change. In which effort, which attempt does it get out? At what attempt does it reach to the end of the pipe? There will be 1 or 2 plus 1 plus minus 1 difference is the answer. Ours is a similar story but with a different background. We jump 2 meters and slip 3 meters. Because we want to have a positive contribution. More than the positive contribution, what we carry. Because each one represents, whether we are conscious of it or not, we represent something higher than our own self. We are the ambassadors representing something higher than ourselves. Always. And when one individual does something, it brands the entire denomination, entire group with that same negative tone. We may just be just an individual doing it, but the impact of that individual lasts long on the entire totality. Doesn't it? About 5-7 years ago, when we were searching for a school system wherein we can launch Balavihar in Colleyville, Coppell, Flowermont area, we visited many schools. Many of the board members and myself, we went various schools we had scheduled. And one common thing that we found is, as soon as we approached, they would be fine when we apply it online, and they would give us a scheduled time to come and have a first dialogue. The moment they see us, they would ask a first question: is your organization Indian? Looking at us, brown skin, it was an obvious question. And the first thing that we say, yes. I said, sorry, we don't rent this facility to Indian organizations. 2-3 school systems that we went through, it was the same deal. Luckily, by the third or fourth time, when we approached, it was the property manager for the school districts. She was there. She said, you don't need to contact any further school district because we have made a decision to not give it to the Indian community. And I said, if you want to see, I'll show you. We had rented it out 2 months ago to some Indian organization. Look at the, what do you call it? The food distribution area. Cafeteria. So look at the cafeteria, the stains. Look at this classroom where they have punched hole and they have covered it up. They did not have even the decency to inform us. And there were these kids who were running around. They pulled, what do you call that red knob? That knob has a different name, which triggers the fire alarm. They pulled 7 of them. To replace each one, it is not like you push it back in. To replace each one of them, it costs about $150-200. And that is why we don't want to give it to Indian community. What a sorry figure we have to cut. See, as an organizer, as an administrator, when we book the open areas, open grounds, parks, if we are coming from an Indian community, they take $1,000 extra. That, if there is trash not cleaned up, something stained, something repaired, they'll cut it out of us. If you are not an Indian community, you don't need to pay that 1,000. That is what we have brought together our community as a status to. There's a Costco on Dallas North Tollway and Park or Parker. Park. So for Chinmay mission purpose, I used to go there quite a bit. I know people there, they know me. One orange fellow man. So there was this something that I had to return, and I said, no, it has passed the due. We have changed our policy to 90 days. Before it was not 90 days. It was like even after a year, something is not working, you can exchange. So I said, why did you make this change? So they said it started from the Plano area. The guy there was explaining, nothing against you, but when Indians and South Asians, when you come, you misuse that. That is not because it is not working, or it is just like a rental facility where you buy and return and expect the entire full payment. And that is like a backlog which is too huge to handle. It was like somebody hit, not just hit, put their hand in my stomach and twisted everything inside. Very bad. I couldn't go to that Costco for a long while. I represent this community. There are this bunch of Indians who came in H1. I knew one of them. They had an apartment on Coit and American, I think. There's the Dollar Theater there. So right across. So I went there, and they just had arrived 1 week or 2 weeks. As I went in, like, it was full furnished. They had a complete sofa set. There was 2 chairs with massaging complete, and then 72-inch screen, Dolby stereo fixed. It was like completely decked. Man, you guys are lucky. You got a pre-furnished. I said, no, Costco. I said, what do you mean Costco? You're not going to stay here more than 3 months. I said, it works good for us. We take it for 3 months, and last 1 week we go return it. Pura paisa vasool. Individual doing it, but doesn't it corrupt the entire image of the totality? We talk about seva, we talk about service, we talk about going out there and helping. Before we do that, shouldn't we stop these things? Because anything that goes out to me, to the world, should be a blessing to that world, to that community that I am a part of. Not a sharper to the society. First, we should have that integrity to stand up as that individual, standing up for those values. Instead of having a community wherein Indians are considered as the most affluent community, affluent minority settled in US, affluent in terms of economical background, they call it affluent when it is 80K per annum per family. How many of you are double income per family? Please raise hands. Now, I'm not asking donation. Feel free to raise your hands. Which means an average of at least 160 to 180K per family. Am I exaggerating it? It is not that we don't have, we don't lack, we are lacking. We have, and still the mindset is not changed. With so much of resources, so much of positive things that can be given, what are we recognized as? Desi people, very shrewd, be careful with them. Is that the way we represent our generation? Usually what I get at this point as a comment is, Swamiji, you're talking to the wrong crowd. That who do this. It is a mindset that has to change. See, if a local wants to have more of soda, he'll take a bigger bucket. What do you call the bigger one? What is the Desi mindset? They'll take a small one and go for refills again and again. You don't see the local one doing it. That is the mindset that has to be changed. We have enough. We are resourceful. Stop being cheap. You may get by, but the entire society, entire community, it reflects a big picture. A bad one, that too. Before being a productive contributor to the society, before thinking of doing seva, service to anyone around, shouldn't we stop being a pain to that society? We could have been a community wherein we mention that we are a Indian, we are a Hindu. Arre wah. Instead, between ourselves, we don't want to be claimed, grouped. If there are a lot of Indians, I'll go somewhere else. That mindset has to change. And when we come here, learn the value system and learn the basics, that perspective, that community that we represent, the image changes. I'll stop here. Do you have any questions? I have a lot of questions, but do you have any questions?
What you're saying is we have to stop toxic. That we live by that as a Hindu, we go to temple, or we want to teach these values to our children that are Asian, but we don't live on the life.
Exactly.
That toxic has to stop.
Totally agreed. See, I can understand from a community or somebody who does not have things. Even then it is wrong, but I can see the reason. But with having everything, being affluent, still that same cheap mind and hypocritical standpoint, it doesn't suit, it doesn't behave as community. That mindset has to change. And by the time your children grow up to high school, they would point it at you and say, Dad, Mom, you are the biggest hypocrite. Good things to learn from any age. But these things, before they start correcting, shouldn't we mend ourselves and stand up as a true role model and ideal for our, let alone the community, for our own children? Therefore, to learn such things, this platform is created. We'll continue it further. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.